Jake here for American Trucks. In this video, we're taking a look at the Bully Dog GT Platinum Tuner for 2003 to 2013 5.7 liter Ram 1500s. Make the most out of your Hemi-powered Ram 1500 with the Bully Dog GT Platinum. This is a preloaded tuner that will help you extract more power out of your truck and also give you the flexibility to adjust other parameters to improve the driving experience, and it does a lot for a very reasonable price. Getting right to it, let's talk dyno numbers. Now, Bully Dog claims about 23 horsepower and 30 pound-feet of torque in peak gains. Now, we ran our 2007 Ram 1500 on the dyno in third gear because that is the one-to-one gear. However, because of the way our dyno and truck are both set up, we ran into the speed limiter in third gear, so the truck didn't get to rev all the way out. Nonetheless, we were still able to see some pretty definitive results. In stock form on 93 octane fuel, we saw 219 horsepower at 4,300 RPM and 289 pound-feet of torque at 3,500 RPM at the wheels. After getting the tune loaded up, we saw 249 horsepower at 4,300 RPM and 308 pound-feet of torque at 4,100 RPM. Giving us peak gains of about 30 horsepower and 20 pound-feet of torque. And that makes for a pretty solid result, close to what Bully Dog claims for this unit. Now, this is a great little self-contained unit. It comes preloaded with a handful of different tunes that have been street and dyno tested to increase horsepower, torque, and throttle sensitivity. However, it is worth noting that this one does not support custom tunes, only the ones that come preloaded. Now, you can choose a tune that's more towing oriented or a few different ones based on fuel octane rating, depending on what you want to run in your truck or what's available near you. But there's a lot more here than just power increases. Now, this little module also gives you the flexibility to change up a bunch of other different settings. So you can correct the speedometer and odometer for larger wheels and tires or a different gear ratio if you've changed them up. You can change the speed limiter and the rev limiter to give you a bit more speed at the top end. And you also have the ability to adjust transmission shift points as well, specifically for the 1, 2, and 3, 4 shifts at wide open throttle. Now, you can also set different temperature warnings for transmission and coolant temperatures and some other functions as well, such as disabling traction control if your truck came so equipped. And you can even do things like a driving coach. It'll give you a little bit more information about how you're driving, what your fuel economy is like if you're so inclined to go that route. This is also going to read and clear diagnostic trouble codes. So if you happen to get a pesky check engine light, this is going to allow you to read and clear that code away. Beyond all of that though, the GT Platinum is designed to be mounted up on the dash and used for data monitoring. Now you see we've got it on our little windshield mount here, and this is designed to go right up on the windshield, and it's going to display a bunch of different things, and you can change it up as well. Things like engine RPM, intake air temperature, transmission temperature, gear position, and more. It's a pretty handy little thing, and since the display is rather small, it's pretty unobtrusive when you've got it mounted up. Now, the unit itself is a pretty straightforward setup with a series of touch buttons, 2 on this side and a handful on this side as well. You've got a 3.5 by 2.25 inch display, makes things easy to read at a glance, and it's pretty easy to figure out and navigate as well. Now, this also, as you can see, comes with everything you need to get it fired up and ready to go, including that windshield mount that I'm using here as a handy stand and all the cables. Now, this is going to attach with an HDMI cable into this little port down here. It's going to plug into the OBD2 port. Now, Bully Dog does give you the option to hardwire this in. It comes with a power cable and a fuse tap ready to go if you want to do that. And this one also comes with a micro SD card included in it, so you can change things up and you get it uploaded as well, and you can update the software via the computer using that USB to HDMI cable on the back. Pricing comes in at about $525, and that puts it pretty much smack dab in the middle of the category when it comes to tuners. And for the fact that it comes pretty much set to go right out of the box as both a tuner and a monitor and a programmer, I'd call this one a pretty good value for your money. Installation is going to get a 1 out of 3 on our difficulty meter and should only take you maybe 30 minutes to get it set up and working. Now, you're going to end up spending time playing around with most of the settings. That's probably going to take up the majority of your time. It will take a little bit longer if you do want to go that route and hardwire it up, but again, not going to be too difficult there. Not much more we can talk about at the table, so let's head on over to the truck and we'll show you how to get it done. All right, guys, so we're going to be installing the Bully Dog GT Platinum Tuner on our 2007 Ram here. There's a couple of components that we need to get started. So right out of the box, you have your power cord. This is going to plug into the OBD2 port, and this has got a switch on it for the key or the battery. For our purposes today, we're going to switch it over to the battery side, so it's already on there. Once we've got that, we also need our HDMI cable that's included in the kit and the actual tuner module itself. So once we've got all these things gathered up, we're gonna go ahead and plug them in. So let's jump into that right now. First thing we're gonna do is take our power module here. We're gonna plug it into the OBD2 port underneath the dash. This is gonna plug in like that. And then on our little box here, you'll see there's a switch that says key or battery. We're gonna make sure ours is switched to battery for right now because we're just plugging this in. Once that's done, we'll take our HDMI cable, plug that in to the port right there. Once we've got our cables plugged in underneath the dash, you can go ahead and take the BullyDog module here and plug the other end of the HDMI cable into the back. It should click and you'll hear it beep. Now, if you do want to mount this up and use it for vehicle monitoring or anything like that, they do provide you with a windshield suction mount here. That's just going to slide into the back like so. You just slide it and clip it in, and then you're ready to go. So we're going to go ahead and show you how to work this thing and get the tune loaded on this truck. All right, so now that we've got this plugged in, we're going to go ahead and take our key, turn the ignition on, but do not start the engine. So once everything fires up, we're pretty much ready to go. These buttons on the side here will select different options, and these will help you scroll. So we're going to go press up to continue because we've got our micro SD card already in. Now, I would caution you all to plug this in before you plug it into the truck. Make sure everything is updated just to be safe. So now it's going to have us select our vehicle. So this is a 2007 Ram 1500. So we're going to go to Dodge. We're going to scroll down until we see Ram trucks. Select that one. Our truck has the 5.7 liter Hemi, so we'll select that. And ours is also a 2007, so we'll select that. Then here it's going to ask you to confirm vehicle range here, 06 to 09 Dodge Ram truck 5.7. That's exactly what we've got, so we're going to hit yes. It's going to go ahead and get things loaded up for us. We're going to leave it alone while it sets itself up. All right, now we can see our main menu and a bunch of different parameters that are shown on here. Some of these we'll be able to change, but for right now, we're focused on getting the tune in. So we're gonna go up here to our main menu. We're gonna hit Install Download. Again, it's gonna ask you to verify the vehicle type. If this is correct, press yes. So we are, again, 07 Ram 1500. Hit yes. All right, this is going to ask you to agree to the terms and conditions, so we'll just scroll down here. Always make sure you read these. For our purposes here, we're going to scroll down. Okay, we'll hit agree. There's another warning that comes up talking about your battery condition. Make sure that it's good. If you have a dead battery or battery that's low on some of these, it can cause a problem. So make sure you read through this. Our battery is good, we know that for sure, so we're gonna hit continue. And this is gonna update some stuff for us. All right, our key is already in the run position, so we can press continue. Here we go. Now it's important when this is updating, make sure you don't touch anything. Lights are going to come on, things are going to cycle as it does its job. All right, we moved past the first screen. Now we're going in and saving the stock file. Again, this is all being done by the tuner. I'm not touching anything. Make sure, this is why you want to make sure that your battery is really good before you start this. All right, now we are here and ready to go. So we're going to go ahead and select preload tune. And since we're running 93 octane in our truck, we're going to go ahead and select premium one. And then we'll hit enter up here. Now this gives you the option to change your speed limiter. I'm not going to do that with ours. We're just going to leave it as it is. Again, here you can change the rev limiter. Ours is set at 5,800, which is about what it's supposed to be stock. Again, I'm going to leave this as is, so I'm going to hit enter and move on. Now this is your neutral rev limiter, so if you want to be able to rev the truck out in neutral, you can change this. Again, ours is set at the stock 3800. I'm gonna leave this as is. And here you can change your shift point. So again, just like the others, you can select it up or down. 1-2 shift right here, 5600 RPM. That's just before redline. Again, for our purposes, we're gonna leave that as it is. Same thing with the 2-3. And now our next option is asking us, if we want to adjust the tire size. Since we're running stock tires on this truck, we don't have to do that. So I'm gonna go ahead and hit no. And now this is gonna give us all of our information. So you can go back and change it if you want. Our octane level is premium. Again, we were running 93 in this truck, and we left all of this other stuff alone. Our drive rev limiter, our neutral rev limiter, and our wide open throttle 1, 2, and 2, 3 shifts, and our tire size. So we're gonna go ahead and hit accept. And now it's gonna build the file for us and load it up onto the truck. This part is again gonna take a little bit of time. Just make sure you're not touching anything. You left the power onto the truck as well. And everything is lighting up again. This is just asking us to wait a little bit longer. Again, not touching anything, leaving it exactly as it is until this tells me that we're done. All right, now it's asking us to turn the key to the off position, so we're gonna do that. Continue. And we turn the key to the run position. Press continue. All right, so this is going through and clearing any diagnostic trouble codes. All right, so now we are done. The download is done. So this is telling us we're going to turn the key off and then hit continue to finish. All right, we are rebooting back to the start menu. All right, so we're going to turn the key back on here. All right, so we've turned the key back on, everything is done here. So now we can take a look at some of the other things that you can do with this. So on the left-hand side, we've got some different parameters that it shows. A little econ tip just popped up, not from anything that I touched. But you can touch this here. Pressing that top one throttle will give you a gauge showing you how much throttle input you've got. Pressing the RPM gives you a repeater of the tachometer and a little bar graph. It's a little bit difficult to read, but it's there. Speed here will show you a nice speed graph, and your coolant temp will bring us back to this one. Now you can also go into the menu here, and you can hit gauge setup, and you can change a bunch of different things. So for example, instead of throttle, if you wanted the intake temperature sensor, you can do that. You also have barometer, battery, trans temp, load, timing, mass airflow sensor, fuel economy, all kinds of different stuff that you can switch through here. A bunch of auxiliary things as well. So for our purposes, we're gonna set it to intake because I want to see what that looks like. Going down to the next one, same thing. Instead of the tachometer, you can have coolant temp, throttle. We're gonna leave that one as it is. And here, let's see. This one also gives you the option for a pyrometer. If you have that set up, this has the functionality for it. We don't have one of those on this truck, so we're gonna leave it here. I'll throw a barometer on there just for the heck of it. And then down here for coolant, again, gives you a bunch of different stuff. We're gonna put trans temp on that one just because I wanna see. And you can hit back to go back to the main menu. And there's some other user options here that you can do too, such as adjusting the backlight, the background theme. If you have a hard time seeing, you wanna put it in night mode, you can do that. This will also have you change the color, if you like red, green, anything like that. That one is really bright. These are really bright. So I'm gonna go back down to this original one here. Again, you can change the night theme, same thing here. I'm gonna leave them both the same because I like this one. Set some different animation preferences if you wanna do that. Just something kind of fun. We'll put that on. And then you can change sensor settings, change it to metric, reset the system back to the default. Other cool things that you can do with this, down here you've got your performance testing, so if you wanted to do 0 to 60 or anything like that, you can do this. This is telling you, don't do it on public roads. Please don't do that, be safe. And here you have your performance test. You can do your 0 to 100 kph or 0 to 60. For those of us who are using Imperial units, you can see different results. We don't have any in here, obviously. You can save your data, you can look at your fastest times, all of that good stuff here too. And we have our driving coach set up too. So this is again gonna give you some tips like what we saw on the main screen here. You can set different economy goals. So if you're trying to hit 25 miles per gallon, if you're driving a Hemi, good luck with that. You can change it down. I'll set it to 21. I think that's reasonable. And go back here. And just acceleration sensitivity if you want to do that. So this is functioning more like a throttle controller if we want to mess with that. I'm going to leave it exactly as it is because we want to get a pretty apples to apples setup here. And you have your sound too if you want to have that on while you're driving. You can reset different stuff too. Then we have some other things like our vehicle settings. You can set the engine size, vehicle weight, pyrometer source like we were talking about earlier, warning levels, all kinds of different stuff in here as well. So this does function sort of like a programmer in addition to a tuner. And you've got special functions. If you want to change the headlight delay, you can do that here, which is not something you'd be able to do without visiting a dealer, and most of them probably wouldn't want to do it for you. You can also program fog lights, hood chirp, on lock, optical flashing, so you want the headlights to flash, auto door lock, and you can turn off traction control too. So we're gonna leave everything kind of as it is because again, I want to have an apples to apples setup when we run this on the dyno once more. And then you have your diagnostics. So this is gonna be the section where you can read and clear diagnostic trouble codes. So this will have you turn the key on. Ours is already on. We'll hit continue, and as you can see, we've got no diagnostic trouble codes in here. But if you wanted to clear them, you can display them. Again, it has nothing found because ours is not doing anything. You can save them to reference them later too. So if you do get a check engine light from anything, gas cap, any kind of other thing, you can do that right here. You don't have to take it to the dealership or take it to the auto parts store to get that done. And then you have just general vehicle info. If you need anything for support from BullyDog or from us, you have that information available as well. And then this will show you all the settings, serial number, and everything as well. Hopefully you don't need to do that, but this will also give you a really quick rundown of all the stuff that we just programmed in here. So the octane level, the rev limiters, tire size, things like that. And if you want to uninstall it, you can hit that right here, and this will reset everything back to stock for you. And you can also update your software. That'll be something you'll do when you've got it plugged into the computer. If you want to have all of this stuff up as you're driving, you can do that. Everything will be there. That's going to wrap it up here for our review and install of the BullyDog GT Platinum Tuner fitting 2003 to 2013 5.7 liter Ram 1500s. Thanks so much for watching, and as always, for all things Ram, be sure to keep it right here at AmericanTrucks.com.